Guys, welcome to the first official episode of The Dolls of Horror. I am Corey.
And I'm Summer.
And tonight we're going to be talking about 1984's Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
It is one that we love. It's the one that brought us together. It was our first convention with Robert Englund. Lots of great stuff.
It's our love story.
Yes, it's the Dolls of Horror love story.
Definitely.
Yes. Okay.
So,
go ahead.
I was just saying so. That's all.
Okay, let's start off with our favorite kills.
Okay. So there aren't many in this one. So that's okay though, because it was hard to choose between the few that there were.
Yes.
I know a lot of people favor Glenn and Tina for the bloodiness. I actually think my favorite kill is Rod.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell us why?
No, I have no idea. I just find it incredibly creepy to have something unknown wrap around your neck and pull you straight up.
Okay.
Not that having something slash through your nightgown isn't entirely creepy.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's more of a slow burn. Like when you get cut, it's like, ow, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you don't really know what's happening when someone's just grabbing you and you don't know where it's coming from.
I would not say Tina's death was slow, though.
True.
So, okay, and we have to tell everybody. We do not know each other's picks.
No, we don't. We've been keeping it a secret.
Yes, we keep these things a secret from each other. So we are hearing them at the same time as you guys.
And it's so hard to keep a secret because we talk all day.
About everything.
Everything.
So, yes. Okay, do you have anything else you want to say about his death?
No, I just liked it. That's all. It's always intrigued me. And I don't really know why. I've just always gravitated towards it. And then when I was examining this movie with a more critical eye, thinking about it, I definitely think that he's my favorite kill.
Okay. Well, I have to go with Tina.
Yeah.
Because I love it.
Yes.
It's bloody, it's gory. It's the first time the audience gets to see Freddy at work.
True.
It sets the tone for the whole movie. The wall, her being, dragged up the wall, and just all the blood, and her boyfriend is screaming. He doesn't know what's going on. Everybody's blaming him. I just loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
And
it's fun. I mean, yeah, it's fun as it can be.
Yeah. I mean, I just love everything about it. Just like I said, the blood, the gore. Everybody thinks the boyfriend did it. Tina is being dragged up the wall, reaching out for her boyfriend, asking for help. So that's definitely my favorite kill.
And he's standing by helpless. Can't do anything.
Yeah.
Plus he had the switchblade, so that's evidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about the overall kill creativity in the movie?
I thought they got pretty good. Especially for the time, not a lot had been done. It was pretty much just, Texas Chainsaw Massacre type stuff, as far as slashers go. Thinking of dragging someone up the wall and across the ceiling, and then holding them there for a while, that's pretty genius.
Yes.
And stringing someone up by an invisible force, by a bed sheet, that's pretty genius.
Yeah.
And of course, sucking somebody into a bed, who would have thunk of that?
And then blood just all over the walls and the ceiling,
coming straight up.
The guy's puking in the next room, and yes. I love the kill creativity of all the kills. Now, I will say, okay, I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
I love the kill creativity. Tina was great. Glenn was great. Rod, I have to say, I wrote it down in my notes. That's like the classic jail cell killing. Jail cell move. He's in a jail cell. Let's have him hang himself with his bed sheets. It's too, I don't want to say mundane, but it's
cliche.
It's cliche. Yes, thank you. So that's why it's not my favorite kill, and that's why I don't really think that one is very creative, because it's what happens. I mean, obviously, Freddy wanted it to look that way. Freddy wanted it to look like a suicide. Obviously, Glenn killed himself. Or Rod, I'm sorry. obviously, Rod killed himself. That's how he wanted it to look. I get it, but I just think it's too cliche.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, the rest of the kills are great. Lots of blood, lots of gore. You see what Freddy's all about. It's great.
Yeah, and maybe that's why I prefer Rod, because it doesn't have the blood. You know,
that's right.
Maybe that's it, because that's the only one that's not bloody, right?
Right.
That's so funny. That is so funny. What do you think of the acting quality in this one?
The fact that they are all basically first-time actors, unknowns. I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's great. I mean, I think it's great. I think they did great. I think they all deserve everything that they have gotten from this movie. And I think they actually deserve more credit, because we were talking about the fun facts of Nightmare on Elm Street. It was shot in like 32 days.
That's amazing.
I would love to see James Cameron or some other big director, producer shoot a movie in 32 days and have it be as successful and as highly regarded as Nightmare on Elm Street was. It cannot be done, especially with all the special effects and everything else that was done. I mean, they nailed it. It.
And a semi-low budget. I mean, this wasn't a big blockbuster budget.
Yes, it was. Correct? A very low budget movie. He had to get loans and ask people to help him. You know, they say that the production company was the house that Freddy built, because that was the first movie, and they made their money back within like a couple of days. And it was a shoestring budget. It wasn't even, so it's just remarkable to me. The whole thing is remarkable, that they shot it in such a short period of time, like 32 days. They had a shoestring budget. He was borrowing money from people to make the movie, and doing what he could to get it done as fast as he could, because they had a certain date they had to have it done by. So I just think, with everything that was against this movie, it's just amazing. I mean, it's an amazing movie anyways.
Exactly.
But with everything it had going against it, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're absolutely right. And everything you said and more. I mean, it's iconic.
Mm-hmm.
It is so iconic. And it truly like paved the way for an entire franchise.
Yes, it did. Yes,
and other movies as well.
Yes. Well, and he had to start his own company because no other company wanted to touch it.
Really?
He tried to give the script and get other production companies to pick up on it and take the script, and they wouldn't do it. They would not do it. So he started his own production company, and he did the film himself, and I bet everybody's kicking themselves in the ass because...
We're talking Bob Shea here?
Yeah. It was a great gamble. He took a great gamble. He really believed in his work, and it paid off.
Well, joke on them.
Yep, exactly.
If you believe in what you do, you got to stay true, right? Not sell out.
Yep.
Now, Tori was a trooper, and I've had an incredibly busy week, and she has done all of the research on this. So everything you're hearing, she had to dig up and look for. So props to you.
Well, and I did have the amazing opportunity to see Nightmare on Elm Street in theater. Dream come true, bucket list moment. It gave me all the feels. I got to see it on the big screen for its anniversary, and they had an intro where they were talking about it, and it was wow. I mean, I was just like, wow, 32 days to shoot an entire movie with unknown actors and a shoestring budget, and everybody was telling him, no, we don't want your script, we don't want anything to do with it. He was borrowing money from people. I mean, wow. Just wow.
Just rude.
Yeah. Wow. And if that was me, I would have been like laughing in everybody's face. Like
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's just me. But I'm like, I would be like, yeah. So, yeah, I did some research, but I also learned these facts that way.
I'm so jealous you got to go to that screening. That must have been phenomenal. I probably would have cried.
Yeah, it gave me all the feels. It was ridiculous. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Did you cry? I would have cried.
I started to cry.
Oh my.
I really did start to cry, but I was just like, I was so intrigued and so in the moment. It was like I almost was like, I almost froze. I was almost numb because I was just so. It was like watching it for the first time all over again.
Oh,
And
magical.
yeah, people were saying, you've seen that movie 1,000 times. Why are you going? Because I had to drive an hour away to go see this. This was not at my local theater. I drove an hour away to and from, 2 hours total to go see this on the big screen. And everybody's like, why? You've seen it 1,000. I was like, you don't understand. Seeing something on the big screen for the first time is a whole different experience. And it was. And I'm so glad I went.
I'm so happy you got to have that experience too.
Yes, it was a bucket list moment for sure.
Oh my goodness.
What did you think about the acting quality?
Oh, I thought it was phenomenal. Like you said, they were, well, some of them were quite young. Hadn't done very much. Of course, we all know what happened to Johnny Depp later.
Yes.
And his career blowing up.
Yes.
Other people's careers weren't quite as profitable, but they still worked. And that's amazing. And then you had your veterans, you know, yes. John Saxon.
He's great.
Is always great. I have loved him for forever. I loved him in a movie that no one really knows about called Blood Beach. And I haven't seen that one probably for 20 years at least, but that's also from the same time period. And I think he also plays a cop in that.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, it's probably been 25 years and my brain is tired, so I can't really recall exactly the plot, but I loved it. And I used to watch it all the time. And I just made you watch, what did I make you watch today? Black Christmas.
Black Christmas. And he's in that. I noticed that. He was in it.
Yes, as a cop also.
Yes, as a cop.
He's the resident cop. And then we have Ronnie Blakely, who is fantastic in her own right. I loved her in Nashville, where she sang. She has a fantastic singing voice as well as a actress. And she won an award for Nashville, a movie called Nashville. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No, I haven't.
It's a fantastic film. It's really good. And so we have her. Who else? Of course. I mean, come on, Robert Englund.
Yes.
I mean, this movie made his career obviously so much better than what it was. He was acting before this, but this really put him on the map to success. And I don't want to say it pigeonholed him, but it may have a little bit, because now he's always Freddy Krueger.
Yes. Yes.
To everybody in their head.
Yes.
In fact, I remember I've been obsessed with this entire franchise for my entire life. I remember, I think it was 1998, perhaps. He had a guest starring role on Mad TV. And the running theme throughout all the skits was everyone kept recognizing him and saying, "Oh, you're the guy from V."
Yeah.
And at one point he freaked out and was like, "No, Freddy, the guy with the glove. Gah!" And everyone just blankly like, huh? But
that's hilarious.
I love it that he can like make fun of himself like that.
Yes.
And I've always remembered that episode of Mad TV, and I wish I could find it on YouTube or something. It's not up anywhere, but it was hilarious. I swear, it was probably 97, 98, and it was great. But no, he is just fantastic. And I mean, I loved him in V as well. We own that entire series on DVD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Henry's a big V fan. Henry's my husband, for you
okay.
listeners out there. He's a huge V fan, or at least he was back then. And when we first got together 11 years ago, they re-released them all onto DVD. And so I bought them for him for Christmas one year. And so I've gotten to rewatch all those too, which is kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
You know, young Robert over there do his thing.
Yes, young Roberts. We love young Roberts.
Play Sweet Little Willie.
Oh my gosh, that sounded so bad. Okay. Are you is that all you have to say about the acting quality?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Going off of the acting quality, I would like to talk about the most epic line. What you think the most epic line is from the movie. I am gonna start.
Yeah.
My favorite epic line.
This is so hard.
It was hard at first, but I was like, I got it. Johnny Depp.
Okay.
Morality sucks.
Oh, that's a good one.
He is there to obviously get into Heather Langenkamp's pants.
Yes.
And then Rod shows up. So then very quiet. And he's having to listen to it. And he's like, morality sucks. And I was like, dude, I know, man. I know. So that was my favorite line. It's Johnny Depp saying it. So he's awesome. I think everybody can relate, especially being a teenager and having hormones, and yeah. So that's my pick. That's my out of the whole movie.
I can relate being an adult and having hormones. I'm 36 years old and I can relate to that line.
Yeah. I can relate. Yeah, I think we can all relate to that. Yeah.
That's a great line. Well, as I was telling Tori, I've had a hell of a time trying to pick an epic line because I have so many favorites that I actually quote in my life. I actually throw these quotes out and no one gets the reference because no one watches these movies because they're losers.
Mm-hmm. I live my life on movie references and
Me too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, gosh, I got my list of lines in front of me right here. And I told Tori, I haven't picked an epic line. I have a list of epic lines and I haven't decided. And I'm just going to go with my gut reaction. And I'm going to have to go with the Rod's line, up yours with a twirling lawnmower.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I remember that. They're walking to school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's such a great insult, right?
Yeah. Oh, oh my gosh. Don't get me started about insults. Tina's insult. Yes.
The whole scene.
There's 4 letters in my name, Rod. How could 4 letters possibly fit on your joint or something?
How can there be room on your joint for 4 letters?
Yeah.
Okay. I can quote this movie verbatim. Now, here's another line that I caught, which I also thought was hilarious. I mean, probably wouldn't be so hilarious if it was happening in real life. Mm-hmm. But in the scene, it's very faint. You have to actually really listen because it's kind of in the background.
Okay.
So I didn't catch it until just like a year ago. And I've seen this movie a gazillion times. In the scene after Glenn dies, and all the cops are arriving at the house and stuff,
Yes.
One of the paramedics says, you won't need a stretcher up there. You'll need a mop.
Yes.
And I thought that was hilarious.
Yes, that's another great one.
And then the ever famous, get my dad, you asshole.
Yeah, and he won't do it. Go get her dad. What are you doing?
And then very reluctantly, maybe I should go get him.
Yeah, maybe I should go get him. Yeah, maybe I should go get the chief.
She's only freaking out.
Yeah, like hello.
At the very least, she's like having like a meltdown in there for no reason. Get her dad.
No kidding. Exactly.
You clearly know that you're not a parent, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but my epic line. Up yours with a twirling lawnmower, because I love a good insult.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay. I think we should move on to the fashion pick.
Oh, this one's good.
Okay. I think you should go first on this one.
Okay.
I went first on the last one.
Yes. I love Nancy's like pink sweater combo that she's wearing with her like khakis, and she had a white shirt underneath. Mm-hmm. I thought that was so 80s and just so cute and preppy cute, and it's totally something that I would wear, except maybe I would probably wear it with jeans.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely the sweater shirt combo I probably would actually wear today.
Yeah.
That is completely my style. And so that's probably my fashion pick of the entire movie. I was very, very tempted to pick Rod's Tidy Whities
Yeah.
in the Tina getting killed scene, but I thought
Yes.
I would take this a little more seriously and go with that. But I
Okay.
really wanted to pick the underwear.
Yes. And we did actually discuss that one aspect. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to pick for a fashion pick. What is your pick? And you're like, oh, I'm thinking Rod's Tidy Whities. I was like, oh my God, yes, hallelujah for Rod's Tidy Whities.
I know, right?
Okay, but I went a different direction as well. I'm gonna go with what Tina is wearing as she's being chased down the alley
That white
and
shirt.
during her kill. Yes, and I will tell you why the white shirt and the white underwear, because it is so classically sexy.
It is so sexy.
It is so sexy for a woman to wear a man's t-shirt. And it's so simple. It's just white, simple button-up t-shirt with some white underwear, and to me it's just so iconically sexy. Um so that's my choice because I love it. I love wearing men's clothing. I will, if I date you, I will steal your hoodies, I will steal your t-shirts, I will wear your shit. That is me. That's what I do. So, and to me, yeah, and to me it was just classic and sexy and right on point.
And
And I
so
love it.
comfortable, by the
So
way.
comfortable.
Let's talk
Yes.
about that.
Yes. It's comfortable. Men's clothing is comfortable.
Definitely. All of my
Yes.
shirts are like 5 sizes too big. So,
Yeah. I wear big clothes. I don't like my stuff to be real form fitting. So, and it's always attractive. I don't know if it's supposed to be Rod's t-shirt. I don't know whose button up it's supposed to be. I don't know. But if it's Rod's, that's even better because it's just I love that. I love wearing whoever I'm with. I love wearing their clothes. It smells like them. It comforts me. It's sexy. It's just all these things. Yeah. So,
for
you
sure.
guys know me. Yeah, you guys know me a little too well now. So let's move on. Um I say we should talk about the pacing of the movie.
Okay.
I think the pacing of the movie is great. I think it starts out great. I think the fact that it starts out with Robert sharpening his claws and making his glove,
Oh, I love that. I've always loved
all of
that.
that, yes, all of that imagery, it just catches you right away.
That's such a
I love
great
it.
way to set it up, too.
Yes.
And
And it
to
doesn't
set
take
up
him,
who this guy is without giving everything away.
yes, and it doesn't take him very long to kill or for you to see what's going on. And it doesn't move too fast, it doesn't move too slow, it's not predictable. I mean, everything about this movie was done very well, including the pacing and the kills and the way it all played out. I am very happy with it.
I agree. I definitely agree. And the storytelling. Let's talk about the storytelling, too.
Mm.
I mean, the storytelling in this is phenomenal. This is like a novel quality story. You could turn this into a Stephen King book and it
Yes.
would be amazing. It almost
Yes.
seems like it was a novel with the detail that it had,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I love it so much. Everything about this movie, and like I said, everything about this whole franchise. It's my favorite franchise. It really is. Um, all the characters, the good, the bad, the ugly, I adore them all.
Yes.
And everything about it. And like you said, the opening scene really sets it up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good, really excellent cinematography as well.
Yes. Yes. And the soundtrack. Let's talk about the music. The music, I think, is iconic.
You mean the nursery rhyme?
Just everything. The 1, 2 phrase coming for you, the opening music, I mean, just everything. All of the music or the nursery rhyme, just whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
all of it is great. All of it fits the movie perfectly well. Um, like I said, there's music playing in the opening. There's the little nursery rhyme. Um, you turn on the Freddy music and everybody knows what it is instantly.
And the music is so very simple. It's just a tinkering on a
Yes.
piano.
Yes.
It's almost
Yes.
similar in simplicity to the Halloween music. It's just
Mm-hmm.
a few chords on the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so simple and it's beautiful in its
Mm-hmm.
simplicity. At least for
Mm-hmm.
this one. They got a little more detailed with orchestrations later in the franchise. But it's so elegant and
Mm-hmm.
beautiful.
It's the less is more. The less
Definitely.
is more, and it really worked. And like I said, everybody knows the nursery rhyme. The nursery rhyme is great, and the little kids jumping rope. I mean, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then let's mention also the song that plays in the credits. It's
Okay.
called Nightmare by apparently a group 213.
Mm-hmm. I remember that song.
I have not heard of these people before. This isn't really my genre of music, but I can get down with a good rock tune. I am more of a theater geek, so I prefer some big band and some Broadway show tunes. Um, that's my personal style. That's what I listen to in my spare time. But I can get down with a rock ballad, and I thought it was quite catchy and a good way to end the movie. Like, just cap it
Yes.
off. Boom. You know?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, I just want to talk about that because I think that was probably the only actual song with lyrics is in the closing credits.
Okay. Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Can you think of another one? I couldn't find one.
Oh, just the nursery rhyme.
Right.
Yeah.
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 So this was the only mainstream song. It was in the
Okay.
closing credits.
Yeah.
They probably couldn't afford the
Much. Yeah.
rights to any
Yeah.
other music. That's probably why they did it, but I thought it was quite effective.
Right. Okay. We touched on this a little bit, but let's go to special effects.
Okay.
I think they were amazing, especially for the time. I have seen a little bit of behind the scenes footage about how they made it happen, and I think it's genius. I love all of it. I love every single aspect from Tina's death to Glenn's death to Tina being in the body bag,
Oh
being dragged
yeah.
through the hallway. I mean, that was almost my fashion pick too. I have to say, I
The
almost
body
chose
bag.
the body bag as the fashion pick. I almost
Oh,
chose.
that would have been great.
Yes, I almost chose it because I just love her being dragged down the hallway in a body bag and the trail of blood and Nancy following her. I mean, just
Her
everything
friend
about this
just,
movie.
gosh, what happened to her
Yes.
friend? And she's just wondering, and you can feel
Yeah.
her curiosity and her pain.
Mm-hmm. And what gets me is that nowadays everything is CGI or
Yeah.
computer
I was
or
going to
this
mention
or
that.
that. Yes, it's all so computerized now. And back then it wasn't. And they had 32 days to do this, you guys. And they really, really, really pulled it off. And I mean, I can only imagine how much fake blood or whatever. I don't know what it is. I didn't research what it was that they used, but I can only imagine how much they went through
How many
because that is a
gallons and
lot of,
gallons?
yes, that's a lot of blood for those scenes.
Yeah. I am a hardcore practical effect person. I really don't care for a movie with too much CGI. I mean, especially nowadays. That's probably why I enjoy the 80s so much. Is
Mm-hmm.
because there wasn't a whole lot of CGI because it wasn't so great. So a lot of times I don't think they put it in because it just looked cheesy. Cheesy, excuse me. I'm fighting a cold, guys, so excuse my raspiness. But yeah, I love practical effects, and I love the fact that this movie was all practical, all
Yes.
practical. And so that's something that I really, really enjoyed. If there's too much CGI, it completely takes me out.
Mm-hmm.
It really does, you know. So
Okay. So what about the storyline and the rating?
you mean overall?
Yeah, just the overall storyline. What did you think of the story in general? Um, that
I
kind of thing.
thought the story is fantastic. I think it's creative. I think that it's scary. Because as we mentioned in our intro episode, everybody has to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really no getting around that. It's just what happens. And the fact that this is the only way you're going to survive is pretty horrifying. And it's just how it was written and laid out for the audience in the script, I thought was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this one a solid 9 dolls.
Oh wow. Okay.
I almost gave it a good 10.
Okay.
It's not 100% perfect for me, but it's very close. I'll even give it a 9.5.
You'll give it a 9 dolls and an arm.
9 dolls and an arm and a head.
Okay. Okay. So I'm thinking the overall story is great. I love it because everybody has to sleep. Everybody has to dream. We don't really know what dreams are. It's very scary, very real, something that can happen. People die in their sleep all the time. So I love this overall story of it. Now, I wanted to mention the fact that there's underlying tones about Freddie being a child molester, because they don't really come right out and say it until, what movie is it that they come out and say it? I don't remember. But I don't think they actually say that he's a child molester in part 1.
I don't know if they ever do say it until the remake.
Well, here's what gets me. The storyline is so great.
It's inferred.
You see these underlying tones that clue you in that he's a pedophile. Okay? For example, when Nancy sees him in the boiler room and he kind of gyrates his tongue at her.
Yes.
Okay? Or how about on the phone when he says, "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy." Or the bathtub scene whenever his claw is coming up in between Nancy's legs.
Yes.
I love all of these things because it tells you he's a pedophile without having to come out and say it. And that's why the parents did what they did, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and Nancy's wanting to know why, why is he coming after me? What did I do? Well, they think it's because the parents killed him. So now the children are paying for it. I don't think it's all that. I don't think it's all, oh, our parents, burned him alive. Now he's after us. I think it's a combination of he's a child molester and the parents. That's what I think it's a combination of. So I love the storyline. I love the underlying tones of him being a pedophile, child molester, because that's what he is. I give it 10 dolls.
10 dolls. I figured you might. Like I said, I was so very close, but I wasn't quite there. But gosh, almost. Just so close.
Well, I think what put it over the edge for me for giving it 10 dolls is it's such a classic.
It is such a classic.
It was done in 32 days. The actors, the effects, just everything coming together. If one single piece would have been missing, I would have been like, 9 dolls, Everything came together beautifully in this movie. And like I said, it's a classic. It's my favorite. It was done in 1984, the year I was born. I give it 10 dolls. I love it.
10 dolls across the board for you. Hey, I'm not mad at it. I mean, like I said, it's so close. Now, spoiler alert, there are some sequels that I would give a 10 to. I can tell you right now. I won't tell you which ones. I'll save that for the time. But
yeah, we will save future Nightmare on Elm Street for future podcasts. But yes, some of the remakes are great.
There are definitely sequels that I will give at least 2 of them, possibly 3. I have to really think it through. A solid 10 because I watched them more than I watched the first one. I reached for them, these 3, a lot more than I reached for part 1. And
Oh
maybe
wow.
it has to do with the pacing, or there's more Freddy in it, or
Mm-hmm.
there's more characters in general.
Mm-hmm.
You
Or
know,
the kills. There's some pretty
right.
great kills in the sequels.
And they got so creative. Of course, more money. I mean,
Yes.
that allows you to be more creative is the money.
Yes.
But
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about. I gave it a 10. I
uh-huh.
gave it a 10. There are a couple things though. One of the things is a good thing. I pay attention to detail. I like to see the underlying tones of the movie and what they're trying to get across.
For sure.
So the fact that you mentioned Nancy looks preppy. Nancy is wearing a sweater and khakis and looks kind of preppy. I think they're trying to get that across. Glenn also looks preppy as well. They're obviously supposed to be the couple from the right side of the tracks.
Definitely.
Rod
mm-hmm.
and Tina are obviously dressed more of the wrong side of the tracks. Leather jacket, this and that, they say he's a delinquent. So there's the good and bad couple. And I really like that. I like that there's the preppy couple and the couple from the wrong side of the tracks. So I thought that was done very well. One thing I don't really understand is whenever Nancy falls asleep and she asks if Glenn is still watching,
mm-hmm.
and he shows up in her dream and says yes. So obviously he fell asleep. How can he be watching if he fell asleep and is in her dream? Because he pops out from behind the tree. Do you remember that?
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
Yeah. Nancy's like, stay awake. If you see I'm struggling or see anything, wake me up. And he's like, cool, I got it. She falls asleep. She's looking for Freddy. And she's like, Glenn, are you there? And he pops out from behind a tree. And he's like, yeah, I'm here. What? And it's like, dude, how can you be watching her if you're in her dream popping out from behind a tree?
I figured, now this is just me, I figured she was just dreaming about him.
Okay.
But if we're going to go the Kristen route and that he's physically in her dream but because he wasn't dreaming what she was dreaming.
Okay.
He had no idea what she was dreaming. He was just sleeping like a baby, nice and sound.
I see what you're saying.
Bastard.
I love that. God damn it.
He was sleeping good. Now, a lot of times, I can't fall asleep very well because I work weird hours. My body's used to working restaurant shifts, and then I have an office job. So, I mean, I'm up at all hours, and I can never keep a sleep schedule. And so now my husband will be laying beside me, just snoring away, sleeping like a baby, and I just look over at him with hate, and I go, "Gah, must be nice." you know? So, yeah. So, but he wasn't dreaming what she was dreaming. So I figured that she was just dreaming of him.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense to me. Like maybe she's dreaming of him and her subconscious, he's there and he pops out and he's like, yes, I'm still here. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because he wasn't having a nightmare.
Yeah. Now, I'm looking over my notes because we do take notes. I'm actually looking over my notes and I wrote down they do call him a child molester in the first one, I believe. Whenever Nancy confronts her mother in the kitchen.
And they go downstairs?
She has his hat. Yeah. And the mother says he was a filthy child molester.
In my brain, I heard filthy child murderer.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's correct.
Murderer. Filthy child murderer. Filthy child. I don't know. I have it wrote down. Yes, murderer. Yes.
Guys, we need help. Tell us who's right.
No, it's right. Yes. In my notes, he called him a filthy child murderer. Yes, murderer. You are correct.
Okay.
But still.
That's just going on memory. It could have gone either way.
Yeah, but still, the fact that she said he's a filthy child. Well, here's the thing, though. Okay, she said filthy.
Yes.
He's a filthy child murderer.
Was there any other kind?
She could have just said he's a child murderer. But she used the word filthy.
Yeah.
So
Implying he
use your
did other
imagination.
things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Use your imagination. Think about it. I'm just catching up. I'm just, picking up on those underlying things. So, yeah.
Definitely. So there's one thing I wanted to talk about also. And if you don't want to, that's fine.
Okay.
You were telling me that your friend showed this movie to her daughter, was it?
Yes.
And she said something along the lines of she was disappointed in Glenn falling asleep because boyfriends nowadays wouldn't fall asleep. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I said, when you told me that, she has way too much faith in boyfriends nowadays.
Yes. Yes.
But I thought that was kind of genius. Like,
Yes.
that's so sweet.
Yeah, she said the movie's not realistic because boyfriends wouldn't do that to their girlfriends. And I'm like, girl.
Well, the movie is not realistic, but that's not why.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm like, you have a lot to learn because you haven't even had a boyfriend yet. So you better brace yourself. You better brace yourself if you think that boyfriends won't fall asleep or let you down.
Yeah. I mean, people in general. Just saying.
People in general, yeah.
It's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone is perfect. No one is perfect. We all let people down. So if she thinks she's not going to be let down by her boyfriend nowadays, she's going to be upset.
Mm-hmm. And she also said, and this is a 13-year-old girl that saw the movie for the very first time recently. She knew of Robert Englund, knew of Freddy, but had never watched a single Freddy movie. So she watched the first one for the very first time a couple months ago. She thought the nursery rhyme was creepy.
It is.
The fact that little girls sing it, I think that also plays into the fact he's a filthy child murderer. Little girls everywhere. And so she thought the nursery rhyme was creepy, which I thought was great because the music can reach all generations of it being creepy. So the music was creepy. She was disappointed in Glenn. He got 0 boyfriend points. Probably deserved to die. So because he fell asleep 2 times. He fell asleep in her chair in Nancy's room, and then he fell asleep again at home.
Yeah, she told him twice, don't fall asleep.
And he fell asleep both times, and twice in the same night. Come on, get it together.
Come on.
Get it together, Glenn. Get it together.
Get it together.
So, yeah.
I recently showed all these movies to my young and impressionable colleague. I believe she is 23 years old. She had only seen Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, wow.
She had always wanted to see the movies, she told me. Her name is Jaslyn, and she is amazing, by the way. So I just started loaning her like 2 movies at a time, and and she seemed to really enjoy them. And I'm like, yes, I am the gateway drug.
Yes, you are such a bad influence.
But she said that her favorite movies in the franchise, she liked part 1, but her favorites were 3 and 4.
Yes, 3 and 4 are amazing. Yes.
Yeah, I think again it's because of the pacing and stuff, and she's young and needs the excitement. But I was just so excited to show these with her and talk to her about them, someone new. And seeing it through someone else's eyes who's never seen it before is almost like seeing it new for yourself.
Yes. Yes.
And especially, gosh, this girl's so young. Like, she tells me the year she was born. I said, oh, that was a good year. I remember that year.
Right.
But it's so much fun to show these movies that you love to somebody who's never seen them before and who is receptive to watching them.
Mm-hmm.
And experiencing their reaction and their love for the characters. And it's so great. It's so great.
Yes. I love having conversations with people about things that can open your eyes to whole new things. The way they see it, the way they perceive it. And then they come to you and tell you, here's what I thought. And you're like, you're right.
Yeah.
You see it, even though you've seen the movie 1,000 times, you see it in a whole different perspective because somebody else came to you and said, here's what I saw. Here's what I think.
Yeah.
And it can change your whole reality. And I love that. I love having conversations with people that can make me think.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's great.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And I have to say, you are a very bad influence, and you have
You're
seen
welcome.
so many movies. I thought that I was a movie buff. I thought I was a, Dawson from Dawson's Creek. I thought that I was the movie buff, and then I meet you, and I'm just like, okay, I'm a nobody.
I'm like a total freak. Like, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, I have watched so many movies just since starting this podcast because you're like, oh, watch this one.
Yeah.
Watch this one. Watch this. We're going to do an episode on this one. Watch it. And I'm like, Jesus, oh my God, I can't keep it. Like, and these are movies that I've never seen.
And I'm shocked,
like, wow.
Given your love for the genre.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the genre, but I don't dig as deep as you do.
Oh, yeah.
Because you dig deep. You will find horror movies that are not very well known. They don't have very well known actors.
I
you
love
will
that.
dig deep. You will find them.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorites is a foreign film made in Australia. And I think it's called Allison's Birthday.
Okay.
I need to look it up. I always get Allison and Angela confused. I want to make sure I get it right. It was filmed in Sydney, and it is one of my most favorite. Allison's Birthday, 1981, starring Joanne Samuel from Mad Max. And it is a really good movie. It is about witchcraft and sinister families, and it's good. Possession, it's good, and it's so hard to find. I rented it on VHS, 25 years ago, and then I bought it on a bootleg copy, that was ripped from a VHS, so the quality kind of blows, but it's better than nothing.
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean, yeah, I do dig deep, but I dig deep because I saw these movies when they were easier to find.
Yeah.
I've been renting movies since beta. Since Betamax was a thing.
Yes.
Yes. I thought the little baby tapes were so cute. So, I've been renting movies for a very, very long time. I have a lot of years to have seen these movies and then try to find them on DVD. So, yeah, I definitely dig deep. And these movies were much more well-known when I first saw them, and now everyone has forgotten about them.
Yes. And you have a massive DVD collection.
Oh, it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's an addiction. Yeah. I got no more room, and I keep buying. That's how I know you're going to keep buying Pops.
Yep. And then I'm sitting here saying, hey, what DVD do you want me to buy you?
I'm like,
And then you're like, hey, what Pops do you want me to buy you?
Yeah.
And then we're just feeding into each other's addictions, and that's best friends.
Best friends forever.
That's what best friends do.
I have a 7-foot tall bookcase. I know it's 7 feet tall because it's taller than Henry. Full of DVDs. And then I have a roll-out Sterlite box under the bed full of DVDs, and those are the most watched ones, okay? Then I've got several milk crate size boxes in my closet full of DVDs, and those are the ones I don't watch as much. And then in my storage unit, because I just have like a little apartment, so I put my seasonal, my holiday stuff in the storage unit, In my storage unit, I keep the ones I barely watch at all, ever. So, but I can't bear to throw away.
Yes.
It's a problem. I'm telling you, it's a problem.
Yes. Oh, I know. I understand. I get it. I get it. But we are going to continue to feed into each other's addictions because that's what friends do.
Yes.
And I'd like to mention we are having a birthday celebration this weekend because we discovered that we both have birthdays in December. We will not be able to see each other in December, so we are having a little birthday celebration at Days of the Dead in Chicago.
So exciting.
We're bringing lots of gifts because we spoil each other.
We can't help it.
Can't help it.
Can't help it.
It's an addiction, and I love buying horror stuff and horror merch for myself, but I also love buying it for others.
Yes, share the love.
It's a true. Both are addictions. It's an addiction both ways. I want to buy it for everybody else, and I want to buy it for myself, and then, yeah.
Well, when you get a hardcore fan, you know that person will really, truly appreciate it.
Yes, exactly.
Because it's not something really generic from Target. It is something really specific that you probably have to really dig for. Go to Etsy on, go to eBay for. I mean, you really got to hunt this stuff out sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty special. It's pretty unique.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about Nightmare. Let's loop back around. We got on a little tangent, but that's okay. You know, we had to take a break from the Nightmare talk and talk about, you know, our love affair for a while.
Yeah, and about how you're a bad influence on everybody.
Yes, I am. So if anybody wants to talk about, you know, horror with Summer, I'm available, and I really like to, and I'm always looking for people to talk to about horror movies and unknown movies and sharing.
Yes, you are the go-to. Oh, hey, I have to mention. Speaking of unknown movies, I told you, what was it called? The Curse?
Oh, darn, I don't remember.
Okay, guys. In the last episode, we talked about a movie involving apples. I found out what it was. I believe it was The Curse, and it was like 1987, maybe.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, we will put it in the show
notes.
Sure. I found out what it was. I'm thinking about watching it again, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. I want to keep you guys in the loop, and if we mention something in a previous episode, we will definitely come back around to it and let you guys know what we found out.
Okay. I'm looking right now. Is it The Curse with Will Wheaton?
I have no idea. No idea.
It looks like this is it.
Okay.
The Curse, 1987. Yeah, guys,
okay,
it's
good.
called The Curse. Okay. And yeah, I have to watch this. I've not seen this. You found one I don't know.
Yes.
I know, right? Crazy. So you're good for me too.
Okay. Now, what were you gonna say?
Let's talk about the scary rating. How scary do you think Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1 is?
Oh, the scary rating. I have to say that it depends on how old you are when you watch it.
I think that's valid.
The scary rating, yeah, it depends on how old you are when you watch it. It depends on your mindset, if you get scared easily, if you don't get scared easily. For me, personally, it wasn't scary. We talked about that. It did not scare me. It didn't.
It didn't scare me either, but I'm super jaded, so I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I can see other people being scared of it. I can understand why other people would be scared of it. I get it. You know, the whole sleep aspect, when you fall asleep and you dream and you don't know and people die in their sleep. I mean, yeah, I get all of that. I get why people would be afraid. Me personally, the scary rating, I would give it like maybe a 2 or 3, and that's because it has a scary nursery rhyme. Other than that, I'm not scared. It didn't scare me, but I understand if it scared you guys.
I'm not scared. I am not scared at all either. However, I talk to so many people that are of it, and that Freddy is their scary thing, you know. Mm-hmm. So on their behalf, I'll probably give it a 5.
Okay.
And I know if you talk to these people, they probably say 10.
Okay.
You know, but I talk to so many people who are just terrified of Freddy. So just because I'm crazy doesn't mean that it's not scary to everybody else, because I'm special.
Yeah.
I'm already messed up, so
yeah.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get to me.
So. Okay. So is that it for the Nightmare on Elm Street?
I think so, unless there was anything else you wanted to add.
I don't think so. I think I just about went over all of it. So what do you think we're going to cover in our next episode? And it will probably be recorded in Chicago, correct?
Yeah, that's the plan. Unless we can find time to do this another time. Tori lives in Indiana, and I live in Chicago.
Yes.
So we are doing this remotely, and we hope that it sounds okay for you guys. I've been told that it sounds decent for not being in the same room, so that's nice.
Yeah.
So it'll be really fun to record together in the same room.
Yes, it will.
Just kick the men out and, send them to the bar and just take over the hotel room for a
Then we'll have
recording
an
session.
entire tangent. How long do you guys want to listen to us?
Oh no, we might lose them. We might lose them.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I figure since the holidays are coming up, we will start our holiday series.
Yes.
Of episodes. Sorry, wow, brain freeze.
Yep.
So I'm thinking that we should cover Silent Night, Deadly Night. How you feel about that one?
Yes.
And we'll be doing parts 1 and part 2 in the same episode because they're companion pieces. Okay. And half of part 2 was basically part 1 anyway.
Yes.
But I just love this movie so much just for what it is, all of its cheesy goodness. I recently made Tori watch it. This is another one that she had not heard or seen. Yes. So I was happy to share it with her, and I'm really excited to hear what she thinks of it. And that's why I wanted to do this one next, because I want to know.
Yes, I'm totally on board with doing the holiday horror. There's definitely a lot of them out there.
I didn't even know. I
didn't even know.
Like
you asked me about holiday horror, and I was like, Gremlins. And I think there was one other one.
I don't even know what else you said.
I said 2 of them. I said Gremlins and something else. And you're like, yeah, there's a lot more out there. So I was like, okay. So I've watched it.
I'm like, no, Silent Night, Deadly Night, better watch out, Red Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what else did I say? I gave a list. I said A Christmas Horror Story. I just love that one.
Mm-hmm.
I gave a whole list of Christmas horror movies, and I have a whole box of Christmas horror movies.
Yes. Horror is good any time of the year. People think, horror, they think Halloween. No, it's good anytime.
The spooky life, you gotta live it.
You either go big or go home. Spooky.
Go big or go home.
Yes, spooky is life.
Spooky is life. And it really amps up in October because it's spooky season. But even when spooky season is over, you gotta keep it alive and just come to my apartment to figure that out. My husband hates me so much because I have all these Puppet Master replicas all over the house.
Yes, you are a doll collector.
In my good guy doll, just staring at him all day, every day. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he says, I'm telling you right now, if one of those things moves, they're all gone.
Yep.
So, yeah, I keep my house spooky.
So, and I would like to mention, if you guys haven't seen these movies and don't want spoiler alerts.
Oh, yeah.
Don't listen to our episode yet, and maybe watch the movie first, then listen. Or if you don't care about spoiler alerts, go ahead and listen.
Yeah.
But we did want to warn you guys about spoiler alerts, because I know there's a lot of movies I haven't seen. I'm sure there's a lot of movies you guys haven't seen. So just keep that in mind. Spoiler alerts, if you care, fine. If you don't, great.
And I also figured, especially with the newer movies, if we see a newer movie, we'll definitely give you notice that we're going to give spoilers or not, if we decide to stay away from spoilers. Yes. But since these movies are all 30 years old,
yeah.
I mean, if you haven't seen it by now, you deserve to have it spoiled.
Probably. Yeah. You probably don't care that much. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love you all, but as Wes likes to say, what the fuck's wrong with you? Get your life together.
Yeah, get your shit together. Get spooky.
That's what I told Tori. Get your shit together.
Get your shit together. Get on the spooky bandwagon.
Get on the spooky bandwagon. That should be our new slogan. Get on the spooky bandwagon.
Get on the spooky wagon. Get on the spooky wagons. The spook wagon. Okay. We need to stop going off on tangents. This is why we have notes, people.
This is why we're such good friends.
Yes, we have notes. I promise you we have notes.
We do.
We just don't stick to them.
Well, I was telling my colleague today that I want this podcast to feel like it's you and I sitting down having coffee with a friend.
Yeah, two best friends. Yeah.
Yeah, with
Or a
someone else
bunch of best
there.
friends.
The listener there with us having coffee with us. Just hanging out, enjoying each other's company and having a conversation. I don't want to be all uptight or really formulaic. I want to have, bullet points, but I want it to be super cozy and comfortable and personable. And I would love to just keep it, fun. Keep it fun.
Yeah, we love to have fun. I do have to say though, Summer.
Uh-huh.
If anybody sees us in person and happens to see us at a con,
yeah,
we are worse in person. This is
so
nothing.
bad.
You have not seen anything. Bad. Yeah, we're so
we got
bad.
a notepad in front of us right now.
Yeah. So if you just so happen to see us in person, know that we're worse. Like I said, we are having a birthday celebration at Days of the Dead, and we will probably be at Caddyshack. So just beware.
Yeah.
Beware.
Come say hi. It's going to be great.
Yeah, come say hi if you want. It'll be amazing.
It's going to be so amazing. Now, Tori and I, we don't see each other very often. In fact, we've known each other since August of 2017, and I think we've only seen each other in the flesh a total of 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Mm-hmm. 5 days.
Yep.
So we talk every day, as I said, but as far as being around each other physically, we don't get to see each other very often. So watch out, world.
That's why we explode when we are together in person.
Oh, it's hilarious.
We just explode. Yeah, I mean it's really a true friendship, soulmate type of thing. I mean, we talk all the time, we text, we Facebook, we can't get enough of each other.
I can't tell you how many times we've sent the exact same text at the exact same time.
Yes, we have sent the exact same text at the exact same time so many times, and we're just like, Jinx, got ya. Or soulmate, or
it's hilarious.
Or it is crazy. Our significant others think that we should be married. They think that they are basically the third and fourth wheel, and they are. Whenever we're together, they probably are the third and fourth wheel, and they think, what the heck are we doing?
Yeah. And our significant others also don't really know what a podcast is, so they have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, actually.
Yeah. They don't care. They're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then whenever they're around us, whenever we the total that we have been together in person, they're just like sitting back watching the fireworks. They just kind of sit back and watch.
And then you go to the bar and leave us be.
Yeah.
Because
they'll sit there with a drink and leave us be and let us do our thing because they just know.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just know.
We're trouble.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that wraps up this episode 1, official episode 1.
Yep, official episode 1, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dolls of Horror.
Yes. 9.5 and $10 rating. Hello.
Yes. No, don't say 9.5. You gotta say 9 dolls and a head and an arm.
I think I'll go with a full torso. It deserves it.
Just cut off the limbs, cut off the head.
Yeah, the head and arm is not enough. It deserves a full torso.
Okay, $9 in a torso.
$9 in a torso.
$9 in a torso from Summer, and a full 10 from Tori.
10 full dolls. Got it.
And let us know what you guys think. Get a hold of us on Facebook as usual. Any other way you want to? What?
Or Instagram or email.
Yes, any of those. Go ahead and shout out those again. Shout out the addresses again.
Okay, so on Facebook and Instagram, we are The Dolls of Horror. And our email is thedollsofhorror@yahoo.com. People ask me, why do you have Yahoo? Why not have Gmail? No one has Yahoo anymore. It's because Yahoo has about a gazillion gigabytes of storage space, and Gmail only gives me 15. So that's why.
I was going to say it's because you like to keep it old school, but...
Well, I do like to keep it old school too. But that is why. Because they have so much storage space, and my personal Gmail is already out of storage space.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's bad. So I figured essentially, we'll never run out of space on this email. Something weird would have to happen.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. So until next time, I'm Summer.
And I'm Tori.
And you have been listening to the Dolls of Horror. Bye.
Bye.